Hello folks, ladies and gentlemen, today is Friday, September 15th, 2017. As usual, it's me, Jake Baldino, here to talk about some video game stuff that has been going on this week. And the first thing I want to bring to your attention, I just love modders and like what they do, so you have to check out the work that these three guys are doing to essentially recreate London in Grand Theft Auto 5's engine. This shit is really ambitious and really crazy. These guys are doing it part-time, as, you know, just modders usually do in their spare time, and they are slowly building it up. So far they have Heathrow Airport and Wembley Stadium, and honestly, I've never been to England or London, but it looks pretty damn good. I don't think England has palm trees though, but I'm sure they'll work on that. This project is absolutely massive though, because these three dudes are setting out to actually make all of London, even down to the roads and cars driving on the opposite side of the street. One of the guys went on record saying that by itself, him alone, will take something like 200 hours of coding to get the cars driving on the other side of the road. I just wanted to bring that to your attention real quick. Like everything else we talk about today, I linked it down in the description. It's definitely worth checking out because I think modders sometimes are making miracles out of games that already are kind of miracles, and that's nice. But we have to acknowledge the Nintendo Direct that went down because it was absolutely crazy, I think. There was a couple of things I did not expect, but let's run down. They showed off some new 3DS stuff. There's going to be a collection of all the best Mario Party games, which I think is really cool, but I'd like to see that not just on 3DS. They didn't announce a new Animal Crossing, and I'm still really pissed. They gave us a ton more gameplay on Xenoblade Chronicles 2, which I'm still not convinced after kind of changing the shift from the original Xenoblade Chronicles X. I don't know. But I think a big surprise is that Nintendo is going a little violent with the Nintendo Switch. They announced with Bethesda that not only are we getting Skyrim on Nintendo Switch, but now we're getting Doom and Wolfenstein 2. That's insane. They did get to show a little bit of Doom, and some people on NeoGAF actually compiled comparison screenshots. I don't know how accurate that's going to be, but the fidelity looks pretty decent, and it actually doesn't look so bad. We haven't been able to see anything from the Wolfenstein version, but that will be dropping in 2018, and obviously, for me, I'm not going to play these games for the first time on Switch, but it will be nice to hop back into Doom and play it on Switch. I don't know. I'll give it a try. I think it's crazy that Bethesda is doing this, and as a technological feat, considering the Switch is so underpowered, I'm really curious to see how this works out. I mean, Skyrim, the new Skyrim gameplay they showed on Switch didn't look so hot, so I'm very curious to see what the final version of Doom actually looks like. They also announced a drop for a demo that you can download to play Project Octopath Traveler, that RPG game that looks pretty damn incredible. And we got another look at the new Kirby game, which seems pretty interesting, but I think one of the best things we got to see was Super Mario Odyssey. I did get my hands on this game at E3. It's really good, but this trailer got me so hyped. I'm sorry, guys. Like, this is, I don't know, I'm really excited. There's tons of world. There's a little bit of customization aspect in there, in the little ship you fly around and you travel from world to world. Mario can play with a dog on a beach. Not only that, Mario has his shirt off at one point, and I think that's historic.
Got real sweet nips.
He's got nips, and everyone online has been freaking out about that.
No tribal tattoo, though.
No tribal tattoo, no. But I do think it's very interesting that in a matter of a month, Nintendo has stripped away the fact that he's a plumber, and now they got his shirt off. What the hell is next with Mario? What are they going to do to this poor guy? I'm very scared to see where they take him. They might make him edgy. They might, I don't know what they're going to do with him next, but
he's going to show his piece of pipe.
His piece of... Oh!
He's not a plumber anymore.
So he wouldn't be laying pipe. He'll show you his Koopa. He'll show you his little Koopa Troopa. But one last Mario thing. You guys brought this to our attention last week. We should have talked about it. But on PC, someone got essentially Super Mario 64 multiplayer running, where you can run around Super Mario 64 worlds with 24 players. It's pretty awesome, but I will say that all the YouTube videos of it, Nintendo has been going after those. So I'm sure it's only a matter of time before they go after this mod. But in other news, if you are one of the folks that's still playing Dead by Daylight, they just announced that they are getting Leatherface in the game. He's available right now. He's $4. He's got some pretty interesting moves, especially one that essentially makes players drop and completely lose their items like they're gone. Between that and Michael Myers, I think it is a good way to keep up with Friday the 13th. I personally like Friday the 13th more, but I know on PC, Dead by Daylight has a huge community, so that's probably going to win out. But in some interesting news I wanted to bring to you guys real quick, we've seen this talk before. We've seen it with Nvidia and we've seen it with Xbox, but now EA is talking up the whole video game Netflix thing. Now, they have been doing stuff with EA Access and EA Origins, but one of the higher ups was speaking at a banking convention, you know, with a bunch of rich people in suits, and he was talking about how they are building infrastructure to essentially create the Netflix of games with completely new experiences designed just to be around this streaming platform. He did point out some of the biggest issues that they are facing, and I agree, they are big issues. The fact that internet infrastructure, especially in the United States, still isn't lightning fast everywhere. We kind of have shitty internet that makes some of this streaming stuff not really possible. So for people like me, when I hear the Netflix of video games, in a perfect world, it could be pretty great, but in reality, not convinced yet. Maybe 5 years down the line, maybe 10 years down the line, if technology improves, sure. But for now, I'll take a disc or a download, thank you very much. But how are you guys feeling on that? Because I definitely want to know. I think it would become in handy if you want to play something really old that you can't find again, but that's just me. Also, in case you missed it, Bruce Straley has left Naughty Dog. This is a big deal because he was the co-director behind Uncharted 2 and one of the main driving forces behind Uncharted 4 and The Last of Us. He's been with Naughty Dog since 1999 and he has been one of the key players, and I do think it's very interesting because from what I've learned and from what I've seen, it seems like him and Neil Druckmann, one of the other creative forces, kind of have a really good vanilla and chocolate essentially working relationship where they both work off of each other very well. So going forward, now that it's just Neil Druckmann, I'm very curious to see how Naughty Dog projects progress. Naughty Dog in the history of like Crash Bandicoot and stuff like has a really interesting, I feel like we should make a video.
You should.
But I don't know if you guys have realized, but the past week or so, a ton of people have been playing and talking about Destiny 2, and the big raid finally went live. It's called Leviathan. A raid is essentially like a big, long level you have to play through with platforming, hard enemies, and bosses, and weird puzzles to figure out. They're notoriously hard, and they require a lot of teamwork, and within it going live, within 6 hours, somebody completed it. The legend himself, you've probably heard of him before. He was big with the original Destiny. Him and his team knocked it out within 6 hours, which is a record, and that's pretty awesome. I also, like, damn, come on, dude, that's not fair. But in some other news, and something that I totally saw coming, Fortnite has announced essentially a 100-player Battle Royale mode, very similar to something like the now super duper crazy popular PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. So far, people hopping into it, I've watched some Let's Plays and stuff, it still seems a little rough. The level design seems really weird, but I do think it's interesting that they're incorporating their base building mechanics into it, so I'm willing to give it a shot. And honestly, I like seeing this. I like seeing other developers have their take on it because it is such a good mode and it's inevitable. We're gonna get the Battlefield version, we're gonna get the Call of Duty version maybe, so get used to it. However, though, it seems like it has some staying power. I'm sticking with PUBG because it's good. But if you are still playing PUBG, in some small news, they added a new town in the newest patch. It's to the east on the coast. It's called Kameshki. Apparently, it's got a lot of good loot, a lot of scopes show up, and Tommy guns show up really frequently. So if you're into the game and you play it, maybe land your ass over there. Also, speaking of EA, real quick, I don't know if anyone cares, but October 4th and 6th, the beta is dropping for Battlefront 2 if you're one of those types of people who maybe pre-ordered the game or something, but some new details have come out. Apparently 3 maps are going to be available, and each will have a different mode, like 40-player Galactic Assault will be on Theed, Starfighter Assault on Fondor will be 24 players, and a mode called Strike on Takodana. But now you know what we gotta do. That console giveaway we do every single week. There's a link below, you click it, you sign up, you enter once, then you're entered for good, and then every single week we randomly choose one folk to win a free console of their choice, and this week's winner is gonna be this person right here. Congratulations. Be sure to keep an eye on your spam box and your inbox in the coming weeks because I'm going to be getting in touch with you, figure out how we can send you your console. It's been an interesting week, though. A lot of Nintendo heavy news. So let's talk about just basically anything. First of all, what are you guys playing? I think this weekend I'm going to play, honestly, sorry, more Destiny 2. I'm also hopping into the new Metroid Samus Returns on 3DS, dusting that off for a before you buy, so keep your eyes peeled. But let's talk about this stuff. Number one, how do you feel about Fortnite essentially copying the H1Z1 or PUBG type mode? Number two, something I definitely want to ask you guys. They're making a GTA 5 London mod, but if you could have GTA 5 modders make any city, which city would you want? And also, obviously, Nintendo, would you play Doom or Wolfenstein on a Nintendo Switch? I can't imagine them controlling that well with the Joy-Cons, but it's still something I'd like to see. Also, I posted some extended thoughts on my other YouTube channel, youtube.com/becausevideogames. Go check it out over there. I still feel weird about the game, but I do like it. But thank you guys for bearing with us as we slowly move here and for coming around every single week. We really appreciate it. You know, clicking the like button does help me and Tom and Andrew out. It lets us eat and maybe even feed Falcons sometimes too. And if for some reason this is your first time, you should subscribe because we put out stuff like this all the time. But as always, guys, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Pizza is on. Imagine I just cut it off.